Let's talk about how to talk to your kids about divorce. I see so many people make so many mistakes when it comes to this, so I really wanted to give you my idea of what the best practices are. I'm Victoria McCooey. I'm a narcissist divorce coach, a motivational speaker, and the creator of the Reclaim Your Power system. I help people every day who are right where you are, stuck in a toxic marriage to a narcissistic spouse, or already engaged in a contentious divorce from one. All right, so here's the mistake I see people make the most that I think is the easiest fix. It's just changing the way you see things a little bit. That's going to help your children so much. If you can try not to think of your children as property, right? That is what makes them feel very uneasy. It's so foreign to them because, they think of themselves as their own people, a part of the family, and now the family is changing. The family dynamic is splitting in half. And when you talk about custody battles or who gets the kids or where do you live and you visit the other parent, these are all very unsettling things for kids. And of course, it depends on the age of the children that you're talking to, but you can adjust for that. What I'm saying is you should say things like, you're going to have two homes. These days are when your home is at dad's, and these days are when your home is with mom. Don't say that you're visiting one parent because that's making them unsure of what that relationship with that parent should be like. We want them to feel like they still have the same relationship with each parent. Your dynamic is changing, but theirs shouldn't. So they should still feel able to have as close a relationship with each parent as they did before. Now, I know when you're married to a really controlling or toxic or narcissistic person, you feel like you have to protect your child from that parent. I get that. But the reality is that is their parent. And they're going to have to develop their own tools to use in having that relationship, or one day deciding not to have that relationship, but that's not your job. And you can't really protect your children when they're with their other parent. So don't say things like, well, if you want to come home, because that's their home too. Another mistake I've seen people make is that they say, well, I'm not going to talk to the kids, or I'm not going to say anything to the kids until I have all the answers. Like, I don't know where we're living, what the arrangement is going to be. I don't know who's going to have the kids on which days yet. I don't know if we're going to be able to stay in this house or if we're going to move. So I'm not going to say anything until I have the answers to answer all their questions. This is a mistake because kids aren't dumb. They know what's going on. They can feel the energy. They understand that things are changing. There's a drastic change in the barometric pressure in your home, right? They know something's going on. So if you're pretending that it's not, that is making them feel very unsafe. So things you can say are, I'm not sure now exactly what it's going to look like, but you can be sure that I'm going to do everything possible to make sure you feel safe and that we're going to do what's best for you. So you don't have to worry. Let them know the adults are in charge. The adults can handle it. Even if you don't think the other adult can, you can, right? You know that you're going to be able to take care of your child's needs. So just reassure them that everything, you're handling it. It's going to be okay. And of course, the other thing is don't disparage the other parent. Even things that you don't think are disparaging, like, well, your dad isn't really good at getting up in the morning, so it's probably best if you spend the night here. Even that, even facts, even things that they probably can see for themselves, at this point, they don't want to hear it from you, right? You just make sure you don't disparage dad or dad's family, or if you're the mom, and if you're the dad, don't disparage mom and mom's family. Your kids are half your spouse, right? So telling them that their other parent is bad is telling them they're half bad. That's how kids perceive it. So make sure you don't fall down that trap. And finally, you work toward creating contrast when you are in two separate homes. So they're going to go back and forth, right? They're going to experience life in each of your homes, in each of your households. So your job now is to create the contrast from the narcissistic parent. You know that they're going to have to deal with a lot of those issues, the reasons you're leaving probably, and you can't change that dynamic. You can't change that for them. But what you can do is create a safe, secure, consistent environment in your home. So you're the head of the household. Finally, you get to make all of the decisions without being vetoed, without being overturned, without being sabotaged. So take advantage of that. Do things the way you want to do them. Show them what things are like at if you're the mom, what things are like at mom's. You know, that you show up when you say you're going to. You do what you say you're going to do. You're consistent. You have rituals. You make them feel safe. So now they get a sense of what they can expect at mom's, what they can expect at dad's, and they're going to gravitate toward the one that feels safe. Even if there's a Disneyland dad episode going on, it can't last forever. So don't try to compete with all the fun and games and bells and whistles and super dad things that are going on at dad's. You do what you do best, which is nurture and comfort and make things cozy and safe and consistent. Are you struggling with talking to your children about your divorce? If you would like to talk to me, you can book a call. I'll put a link below where you can get right on my calendar. Did you find this information helpful? I hope you did. If you liked this video, will you please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. I've linked a couple of other videos here that I think you might also like, so I hope I see you in the next video.